Hi, this is Mukul Chadda. You're watching Bollywood Helpline. Keep watching. My journey. I started off doing theatre actually. I didn't plan on this career as well, as some people might. I started doing theatre. That was how I started doing things. I did a whole bunch of TV commercials after that, while continuing doing theatre. I have an improv group that does a lot of improv stuff, which continues till this day. And then I've been doing some films and this big web series. Yeah, it's been a lot of starts and stops, I guess. That's how a lot of people's careers go. And I hope there's more starts than stops. My character is the boss of the office, is the boss of the Faridabad branch. But he thinks of himself as less of a boss and more of a friend, to everybody. He thinks that he's everybody's best friend. And he anyway has a difficult time separating professional and personal lives. He thinks it's all together. He wants to be a part of everybody's personal life. He just wants to know about their problems. He wants to be their best friend. And as it is, it's hard to make your boss your best friend. And B, he's not exactly the person who is ideally suited to be someone's best friend or confidant anyway. He also thinks he's a very funny person. He thinks he's a very funny person and he's extremely entertaining. And he's constantly trying to get the attention of everybody and make them laugh. And most often that doesn't work. So then he has to try even harder and do different things. So I think that creates the comedic elements in the show. I think there's a lot of differences. There are lots of differences, like Jagdeep Chadda. So it's actually, the last name is the same actually. There's Mukul Chadda is playing Jagdeep Chadda. So Mukul Chadda and Jagdeep Chadda, I think the differences are, if I would think about it, Jagdeep is extremely impulsive. He's like, in fact, I think one of his lines is, "Soch ke kaun bolta hai yaar?" It's like he doesn't believe that he should have any filter. Jo man mein aaya kar deta hai, and whatever he desires, he just says it, does it, whatever. Mukul is quite the opposite. Deliberate about everything he does, perhaps too much so. So that's one big difference. Language, of course, is different. He's from Faridabad. I grew up in Chennai. So there's a differences there that exist. Yeah, he's constantly trying to be the center of attention. He wants to be the life of the party. He wants to jump into things. I think I'm a lot more reticent in social gatherings compared to him. So yeah, there are quite a lot of differences, I hope. So the show, when we started only, when I got the part itself, they had told us very clearly that they are adapting the US version of the show. So that was the basic template, and I'd already watched it during the audition process. I'd watched a few episodes during the audition process, so I kind of got a sense of what the character was and what the show was about. So that was already there. Then of course I had to work to be Jagdeep Chadda, because like you said, he's very different from Mukul in several ways. So I had to create that character or become that character, and that took a lot of work. Yes, there was a workshopping process for the whole cast together, because you can have your own individual process, each actor can do it, but you also have to get the cast together, so that, because we're all working in an office and we have to come across as if we've been working there for years. So we did a 9-day workshop process. Joy Fernandez actually took that workshop, and it was actually, if nothing else, it was, there were lots of good things about that. One of the biggest things to me was there was, just the fact that we all spent time together, we got friendly, we knew each other. That created a nice atmosphere. Then we did a mock shoot, and only then we started shooting. So there was, I think, was nice about, applause that when they were making it, they chose to, make sure there's a good rehearsal process in place before we actually start filming. So it was wonderfully created, that set, because it really gave a feel of an office. The day we stepped in, we really felt this, looks and feels like an office. Everything was real. It wasn't like, on a set you often have things that just look from appearance to be something, but we had, the laptops worked, everything was, the Xerox machine worked. Everything was a proper functioning office in a sense, and that creates that real feel, and you feel really good about that. And so very often, when you were not on a shot, most people just go back to their vanity or their rooms, but many people used to hang out on set because it was just a comfortable place. It was just you felt comfortable. They sat at their desk where they used to work. They used to just sit there only in breaks because that was their space. People had created their own. I had a very big cabin. So in their desks you put little things to eat. You put games. Everybody had created that at their own desks. So you kind of felt comfortable in those places. My cabin became a place which was an adda. You know, people would come and play games over there. We played lots of Uno, we played lots of Ludo. We played cricket on set until the set designers came running and very carefully because they were worried that we'll break something. But there was a great atmosphere on set with everybody playing it. There were video game challenges between us. Because there was a lot of downtime that some actors had all times, and you know, it was great actually. Yes, I mean, it was very hard actually. It was a hard schedule. It was tough. It was a very long schedule that we shot, and through most of it through summer, so it was very, very hot. But and shooting is always difficult. But no, it was also very enjoyable. I think lots of them. You know, I think the people. So I knew Gopal before. Gopal Dutt. We had worked together in a lot of shows. I mean, we'd done theatre projects together. Then we'd done a lot of different projects here and there. So we had worked together before. So I knew that with Gopal there was an ease. You know, there was a comfort level. We would work very easily. I was very happy when I heard he got the part because I knew one, it's a difficult part what he's doing, T.P. Mishra, which is based on Dwight, and I knew that he'll do justice to it. And I also we have lots of scenes together, lots of chemistry between the characters. And I was very happy because there's that mutual respect and understanding that Gopal ke saath to aaram se ho jayega, you know, and that felt comfortable, and that comfort was there from day one. With a lot of the other actors, it wasn't there from day one because you have to know them, but it developed very fast. You know, there were lots of people with Shayandeep, with Amit, I had a lot of scenes that worked. There's a character called Sapan, who's played by Abhinav. We developed a great bond because, you know, also our characters have a bond, and sometimes when you have fun in a scene with somebody, that does develop into, you know, when after the shot you kind of become friendly and hang out. So lots of people with Samriddhi, who plays Pammi, loads of them. Gauhar, who played the role of Riya Pava, my boss. Most of my scenes outside the office were either with Gopal or with Gauhar, and she was again, you know, wonderful to work with. She was not part of the immediate people in the office, so she kind of came a little later and all that, but you know, got along with her very well. There's a film that I've done which is tentatively titled Fairy Folk. That's a very interesting project in terms of how it's been made. We first shot it linearly. We kind of shot it with, I mean, you shot every scene as it happened in the film. So it was great because as an actor, you know, normally you go in, you shoot scene 62, then scene 12. It's very difficult. This was actually wonderful. I mean, I think Karan, who's the director, made it very easy for the actors. He just, he let us do long takes without calling cut. He would, then he'll cut it and accordingly. He had multiple cameras, so he had multiple options to do that. He allowed us to be in that space and, you know, do our own thing. So his way of filmmaking was very interesting, and I'm very keen to know how that film turns out. He made it. So it's actually hard. Logistically, it's a problem because sometimes we're doing a scene in a jungle, I remember, and that's scene 58 and then scene 70. And logically, any producer will say, let's shoot both those together. But you can't. So we have to, we do 50. Some days you just do that and come back, and then you know, 5 days later we'd go back and do the next scene. So it was tough on him. You know, it was very tough on him to get that done. Yes, exactly. Much tougher. But he chose to do it. He believed in what he wanted to do, and he did it. And I think that had made a difference in the project because there were reasons to get that done that way for the kind of project it was, because a lot of things evolved in a scene as we went along. And so that was very nice actually, and I'm very keen to know how it happens. It's about this couple in Bombay, and then a set of very strange incidents start happening that affect their lives, and how it affects them and their relationship, and it's a I don't know what platform it will come out on. I think the film isn't finished yet, so I think that's the first step. He will finish it, and then he will, I guess, find an avenue to release it and how he can release it. But yeah, I'm guessing it might come on one of these OTT platforms. I think probably maybe next year. I'm guessing it'll come next year. I think by the time it gets done next year. So yeah, that's some next thing I'm very excited about. Yeah. अरे funny है यार ये show देख लो मैं कह रहा हूँ मैं हूँ ना उसमें. Thank you so much. Thank you.